Hello, I'm Mary Beth Smith, and I'm visiting today with Jim Vance, who is a public speaking coach in Houston, Texas. Jim, I'm just curious what some of the elements are that can most be improved by working with a public speaking coach. Do you see some sort of themes emerging, people coming who, you know, if they could just do this and this and this, wow, they would improve their public speaking by 50%.
Let's talk about the coaching that I do. First of all, you know, there are public speakers that are celebrity public speakers out there and that kind of thing, and they're in a world where, while my work could help them, that's not where I concentrate. I concentrate on the everyday person who has to get up in front of an audience, and whether you're presenting to a conference with a large number of attendees, or whether you're a technical professional and you want to communicate your message in a more concise way, or whether you are someone that has to present on a regular basis and you're experiencing some, call it nervousness, call it what you will, but really what happens is you find the prospect daunting, and that can be reflected in, you know, whether it be sweaty palms or just nervousness, or you get up there and you lose your train of thought, and you're wondering if it has a caboose, and you know, whether it be any of that, the surfacing, those are all symptoms of things going on in the body. And if you can learn to manage your body better, if you can learn to work with breath, and really what we're talking about is, if you look at the body as a musical instrument that plays the voice, what I teach people how to do is play that musical instrument better, so that when you get up in front of an audience, you're playing a melody that other people want to listen to.
So, like what, for example, so you mentioned breath. How might someone, how would you approach someone about incorporating better use of breath?
I have a studied eye, because I've done the personal work in this regard, and so I can get a sense of where people are, what their breathing patterns are, and at an unconscious level, and where their voice is coming from. Is it generally coming from here up, or is it coming from a more resonant place in their body? And based on that, I can help people make subtle shifts to posture and subtle shifts to breathing, so that their voice has more power, more genuineness in its expression, and also it's is expressed in a way that is both authoritative but receptive, which means you're not coming at people with an energy that keeps people away. Instead, you're coming at people with an energy that naturally invites discussion and naturally invites people to engage with you.
What do you think the basic skill set is that a good public speaker needs to have?
People used to ask me, what does it take to become a public speaker? And I used to say for years, two things. First, get good. Second, live long enough to have something to say. And I, from this vantage, would say that what it takes is to have something to say. And if you have something to say that's important, that matters to you, or if you have a message that you want to get across so that other people can embrace it, understand it, and perhaps act on it, then that's the first ingredient. The second ingredient is to know how to play your instrument in a way so that the encumbering emotions of fight or flight don't hinder your expression of that message. And instead you keep those emotions at bay. You operate from a place of control over the instrument so that you can say what you want to say and do it in a way that is has the credibility you're intending to impart.
What happens in a typical session with you? How does the coaching?
I meet with people for an hour up to an hour in the first session. And during that time, we get to know each other. I find out what their goals are, what they're trying to do, what their situation is. And I can generally elicit what's happening within about half an hour to get a sense of what's occurring, and then from that get a sense of the path forward, what it's going to take to overcome this. There are no typical sessions. I work with people where they are. And one of the things experience in this business has given me is the ability to get a read or a bead on someone in a good way, where I can sense where they are and where they need to go. An analogy I use with my students is that I'm like the plumber who can come into your house with his little hammer and tap the pipe to get the water to flow. And it took the plumber 30 years to know where to hit that pipe, and that he can come in a few minutes and make things flow. I can do the same thing with a human being because I have a really good sense of what's going on with your body, what's going on emotionally. Are you trapped in fight or flight? What are some tools and approaches that you can use to get around that, and how do you quickly overcome the fear factor, for lack of a better word, and move into strategies that you know work and can be relied on based on video feedback that I give you in the sessions.
Which is, I imagine, what you were just talking about is a big part of how you help someone to feel confident in front of a group. How do you develop that?
Well, confidence comes from two places. It comes from how you manage the energy in your body, and it also comes from a sense of competence. And if we really work on a couple of things, which is how do you manage the energy in your body better, so that your mental awareness, your mental focus is naturally in harmony with delivering a message confidently. And how do you also add tactics, tools, techniques to your repertoire so that you have a better sense of competence when you're delivering. If you work on those two angles, you can move along pretty quickly.